welcome to the Astroimaging Journey channel. Please enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome back to my Astroimaging Journey channel. And in this first part of this episode, we're going to go through creating our process icons. You're going to see in the next part that I'm going to use a pre-described set of process icons that I already have set up. So let's show you how to create your process icon set and how that will be beneficial going forward. So let's say the first thing we want to do is we want to blink our data. Well, yeah, let's blink our data. So we're going to come up here to Process, All Processes, and Blink. And that's not a good one. And I'll show you why here in a second. The key is to look down here in this lower left corner. We do not see a little triangle pointing to the lower left. So we're going to close this out. We're going to come up here to Process, All Processes. Any of these should work, but I'm going to look for Image Integration. Image Integration. There we go. So it already comes up pre-populated with some information because I was doing some stuff earlier and it saved that information. So the first thing we're going to want to do is this little icon right down here. You can see it has a little tooltip fly out. It says it's reset. So if we click on that, you can see some stuff here changed. Our images changed. So clearly I had made some modifications to some of these settings and it reset it back to the default. Let's say I wanted to add some files here and we'll just come over here to my NAS. Let's see, Astroimaging, targets with focal reducer, my ASI 1600 mm Pro, completed, pre-processing, and let's go into C19. And I'm just going to add my blues in here. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about drizzle or normalization because we don't have those in there yet. Combination, let's leave that average for now because we're just going to set the icon. We want to see what this does for us. Normalization, let's do additive, local normalization, weights. I'm going to do a fits keyword and let's just type in test. We want to generate the integrated image and let's change our pixel rejection from none to Windsorized. Now let's assume that this was what we wanted to do. What we can do at this point, instead of saying apply, we have this little triangle that points to the lower left. New instance. We can left click and hold, and then drag it onto our workspace, and it creates a new process icon. Now let's set that icon identifier, so that was simply a right click, and then select the set icon identifier. And let's change that name to test process 1. We'll click OK. You can see the name changed. And we can then take this and drag this anywhere we want. I like to use this little space right over here. And then what does this give us? So if we reset this back to default, can see that went back to an additive with scaling. This went back to no rejection, and there's no files in here. So if I close that out, and I come back in, and I go to image integration, we're back to default. Having this process icon, I double click on it, all my settings are there. Local normalization, Winsorized Sigma clipping. So it makes a very quick, easy way to have some predetermined processes that will allow us to get to certain things quicker. That way we don't have to worry about setting all of these different variables every single time, especially when we're working with mono data. We've got 4 filters and they're all identical as far as exposure time, gain settings, number of exposures, everything about the frame with the exception of the filter used. Then the way we process them to integrate them is pretty much going to be pretty standard. So to that end, we can create this, and we don't have to, the only thing we will really have to worry about is just coming in here, loading up the process icon like we showed here by double clicking on it, clear this out, add our files. Let's say we wanted to do our green. We had already done our blue in this example. Hypothetically, we can select our green. Everything else would remain the same, and we could apply global, rinse and repeat for our red, our luminance, whatever other filters happen to match these particular settings. Flip side, if we're in there and we're not sure, did I accidentally change something, I didn't like that results, anything of that nature, we can either do one of two things. We can either close this out like we did before and open it back up, or we can simply come down here, click reset, double click, and it restores our settings to our predetermined. So quick, easy. That's how we're going to create our process icon set. I already have them set up, so just want to do this one in the very beginning. So when you see those icons on the side, you can refer back to here. This is, this is how I created those sets. And then if we had another one, let's say this one was good, and now we're going to have set the process identifier as test process 2. Click OK. Drag it over here or wherever you feel comfortable having it. I like to have mine on the right hand side of this little delimiter bar here. And we can do a few other things. For example, these are all going to be stacked on top of each other. So we can left click and hold, drag to select them all. And then we can do things like arrange selected icons to the left, align them center, however we want to have them aligned. But with them all selected, we can then also save them. We have some already saved here, and let's say we want to do this one as a test process set. And click save. So now we can come over here, go delete, and now let's assume we close out of PixInsight, come back a couple of days later, we're ready to continue our pre-processing or processing or whatever, and we can come over anywhere on the desktop, right click, process icons, load process icons, and there's our test process set. Double click on it or highlight it and click open. And now we have them right here. And there's our blues. And there's our, oh, that's blue as well, because I created it with the blue and not the green. But I hope you get the idea. Quick, easy, especially when you're doing a lot of different things. And I will show you that here in a second, actually. So let me close this out. One of the benefits is we can set, delete these. Let me load up my pre-processing. So as you can see here, I've got Create Master Dark. I do not have a Create Master Flat, which I should. Lights, calibration, cosmetic correction. You can start to see a workflow here. And that's exactly what we have. We can arrange these icons in a way that they will be used, or in an order that they will be used. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a master dark if I haven't already done so. Then I'm going to want to do my lights, calibrate my lights. Then I'm going to want to do some cosmetic correction on them. Use the subframe selector process to weight my frames, align my frames, normalize my frames, finally integrate everything into master frames, and in the end, drizzle if I so choose. So you can see that I have them set up here, that I just start at the top, work my way down, and then I will get to a point where now that would be at the point where my pre-processing is completed, and I would then be able to move into my post-processing, as I would have all of my master lights calibrated, whole 9 yards, and stacked. So with that, I'm going to say thanks everybody for watching. I hope you found this one informative, and we will see you in the next part.
Thank you for watching yet another video from the Astrometry Journey channel. Really appreciate your viewership. In our upper right, we have the latest video we've uploaded. In our lower right, we have what YouTube might think you would enjoy. And in the lower left is our subscription button. Please like this video, subscribe if you so choose. As always, clear skies, have a good one, and remember Duke.